Did you know that the United States once paid tribute to the Ottoman Empire? It sounds unbelievable, but this is one of the most forgotten and shocking stories in world history. Today, the United States is the most powerful country in the world. But in the late 18th century, it was a young and weak nation, with no strong navy and very little influence outside its own continent. After gaining independence from Britain in 1776, American merchant ships started traveling to the Mediterranean Sea to trade with Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. But there was one big problem. At that time, the Mediterranean was not controlled by European powers. It was dominated by the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire ruled vast territories across North Africa, including Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli, which are today part of Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. These regions were known for their powerful naval forces and corsairs, often called Barbary pirates. These corsairs did not see themselves as criminals. They were officially authorized by the Ottoman authorities to stop foreign ships, capture goods, and take prisoners. Any country that wanted safe passage through the Mediterranean had two choices: either build a strong navy and fight back, or pay tribute. European powers like Britain and France were already paying. But now, the Americans had arrived. And the Americans were not ready. In 1785, Algerian corsairs captured 2 American ships and took more than 20 sailors as prisoners. Soon after, more American ships were seized, and hundreds of sailors were held for ransom. The United States was in panic. The country had no real navy, no experience in overseas wars, and no way to protect its ships. So America made a decision that today sounds almost impossible. They chose to pay. In 1795, the United States signed a treaty with the Ottoman Regency of Algiers. According to this agreement, America would pay a large sum of money every year in exchange for safety. The amount was enormous. Over 600,000 gold coins, plus additional gifts such as weapons, ships, and supplies. In modern terms, this would be worth millions of dollars. But here is the most incredible part. This treaty is the only one in American history that was written in a foreign language. Not English, not French, but Ottoman Turkish. Yes, the official document that forced the United States to pay tribute was written in the language of the Ottoman Empire. For several years, American ships sailed safely through the Mediterranean because they were paying protection money. In other words, the United States was acting like a tributary state. But this situation deeply humiliated American leaders. Thomas Jefferson, who later became president, was especially angry. He believed that paying tribute was shameful and unsustainable. So America began to build a navy. Slowly, ship by ship, the United States invested in military power. In 1801, the ruler of Tripoli demanded even more money. This time, America refused. And that led to the first overseas war in US history. The First Barbary War had begun. American ships fought Ottoman-controlled forces along the coast of North Africa. This conflict is so important that it is still mentioned today in the US Marines anthem, in the famous line, "To the shores of Tripoli." After several years of conflict, America finally stopped paying tribute to Tripoli. But Algiers remained a problem. In 1815, after the War of 1812, the United States returned with a much stronger navy. This time, they attacked Algiers directly. The result was clear. American military power had grown. The era of tribute was over. From that point on, the United States would no longer pay protection money to any empire. But history had already recorded the truth. There was a time when the most powerful country in the modern world was weak, a time when American sailors were prisoners, and a time when the United States paid tribute to the Ottoman Empire. This story is rarely mentioned in schools. It is not popular in American textbooks, and many people still believe it is a myth. But it is real, documented, signed, and written in Ottoman Turkish. History does not always belong to the strongest. Sometimes, it belongs to those we least expect. And for a brief moment in time, America belonged to the Ottoman Empire.